Hey, housewives, welcome back.
Hola, housewives. Sorry, the idea came to me right before we started that I was just like, they're expecting me to say, hey,
New year,
new language.
second language for Tori.
No, that's all I got. I don't know. Maybe I need to learn how to say, I know cerveza, por favor, but how do you ask for a non-alcoholic? Cerveza, por favor. I don't know.
No, I don't know.
I don't think probably it's we're here and you're here and we're glad you're here.
And it's a new year.
It is. And before we jump into discussing the new year, we do want to discuss something or tell you something new. We have got merch. I mean,
We do.
we're like,
It's official.
it's official. Tracy's kids already made fun of us for having swag.
Except for they liked it because it's embroidered and that's super trendy.
That is super trendy. So
And I got the oversized version and
yes. Well, okay. So we have a couple of different things. First you'll notice our lovely, awesome coffee mugs. They are a throwback.
Hey, housewives.
Yep, and they're a throwback to our original cover and then the cover today on the podcast. So you can grab one of those so you can enjoy warming up your coffee for the third time today.
Yep.
In a coffee mug. And then also these sweatshirts, like I said, they say, hey, housewives embroidered. And then we also have ones that say hope, light, and humor, because that's what our goal is, what our mission is from God to bring to y'all. So definitely check that out. The website is bit.ly/unlikely merch. Basically bit.ly/unlikely merch, if you're familiar with that. And we'll put it in the show notes for you. And then also go subscribe to our email. There are going to be some fun goodies in there throughout the year too.
Yeah.
So go to our website, unlikelyhousewives.com, and subscribe. We promise not to be the annoying cyber
we won't be
cells.
annoying. We don't have time to greet annoying.
Exactly.
You're gonna get yourself a newsletter.
We're gonna be the people you miss from your inbox. We're like, wait, we haven't heard from something. You're gonna email us and be like, hey, where's the email that you're gonna send us?
Yes.
So we'll be those people. So, anyways,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, T. We're here.
2025.
Oy.
Oh, yes, right.
Doesn't that make you just take a deep breath?
It sure does. This is the year my son enters his senior year of high school. I'll never forget when he was in kindergarten and they're like, class of 2026. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's so far away.
I know. I was just thinking my girls are 2032 and 2033. And I'm like, man,
it's coming.
It's coming. But also, can I just tell you that, all right, so May will
Here we go.
20 years from my high school graduation.
Oh, that's so cute.
I don't even know how that happened.
I know.
I was thinking last night with one of my daughters, I was like, oh my God, I'm 38. I'm almost 40. I don't feel 40. Do I look 40? Do people think I look 40? Like now that.
So you want to know something really funny? My favorite thing was when I was probably late 30s, like almost 40, and people would say like, oh, how old are you? Like, oh, so-and-so, I have 4 kids. Wow, you have 4 kids. You look so young. I haven't heard that from anybody in like 4 years. You just like it stopped. Nobody says, wow, you look so young. I'm like, no, the teenager years are wearing on me, man.
Yeah. There's a reason we highlight our hair. It's so you can't see the gray. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, and the makeup for the wrinkles.
Yeah. I can't pull the trigger on Botox. I just can't make myself do it.
No.
That's not my.
So we all got our things.
These laugh lines up on my forehead or the look.
Yeah. That's your signature look.
Yes. But I also have to tell I am getting used to saying, instead of saying I'm 38, I will say, yeah, I'm almost 40. And Andrew absolutely hates it.
Because if he were to answer or to say it in that same format,
right,
it would be almost 50.
Right. But me saying I'm almost 40, also like he's like, there's no way I'm married to an almost 40-year-old. And so it makes him really uncomfortable. So like when I just like, yeah, I'm almost 40. And he's like, no, you have 2 years.
And you really should embrace those years.
I really should. But I figure if I start embracing the 40 now, when I hit 40, I'm like, I've been 40 for the last couple of years.
That's a good attitude to have.
So it's just, that's I'm going for that direction.
Yeah.
But it makes it more fun that it annoys Andrew.
I feel like that's your major motive of life.
It is. I picked the one person I get to annoy for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So that's
we all?
yeah.
Didn't we all? That's what I meant to say.
So, and he annoys me. Let's be clear. He annoys me just as much. I'm pretty sure he also has wanted to kill me the last couple of nights because, as you can hear, my voice is not. I'm a little girl.
I thought she was
froggy.
sick. I thought she was sick with the voice. And then I get here and she tells me about the aggressiveness
It could
should have
also be.
had yelling at her children's basketball games.
It
But
could
that's a whole
also
nother
be
podcast,
that.
so we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that'll be another episode. Well, so it could also be that, but also, yeah. So I'm really just surprised that my husband hasn't put a pillow over my head and suffocated me in the middle of the night for keeping him awake.
Oh, I'm glad he hasn't.
So, well, one day at a time. You heard it here first.
Well, on that note, it's a new year. And we want to talk about what that looks like. And
Realistically.
And it's not going to look the same for everybody. Years ago, we did this, and I can say years ago now because it was 3 years ago when we did it, an episode, and it was kind of like talking about, we were reflecting about the 2020, like into 2021, and how there was just that like hangover of like that year was so hard. And like you wanted to start a new year, but you just couldn't because there was just so much that was continuing. Yes, you can start off on a better foot or a new intention or a new note, whatever, however you want to say it. The new year is to reflect and to really, make some changes and create a new vision. But sometimes what was happening in the year is going to continue to happen because it doesn't just stop.
Right. You do have to remember that the sun is going to rise again, and there is actually nothing different except for a number on a calendar.
Yeah.
So, which actually changes every single day.
It's true.
So if you think about it that way, it does just change every single day. And so when one of the things that I would get so hung up on the fact that, all right, here are my goals for the year, or this is what our family is going to do. And we're going to get started January 1. Why? Why does it have to be January 1? January 1 is like a day where we're all still in our pajamas. There's a good portion of us that are hungover, whether it be from the festivities of the evening before or the fact that your kids are still home. And it's not a day where you wake up and going, I'm going to the gym and this is where I'm going to start.
Mhm.
No, why does it have to be January 1? It doesn't. And because it's just another day. So one of the things that I'm definitely going to embrace, because with Tracy, we discussed earlier the Bible in a year, that is definitely on my list for 2025. And logistically, I'm thinking about it because I want to do it in the mornings. But I'm like,
did you hear that, friends?
Yeah, I know.
The morning.
Well, I figure Andrew says he's going to do it with me, which I'm excited about. And he wakes up earlier than I do. And so he really loves waking me up when he's awake because that's annoying to me. Oh, going back to the annoyance part. And so when he wakes up early, and if we agree to that time to do the Bible thing together,
that would be lovely.
It will be a motivation for him. He'll be like, I get to annoy you every single morning by waking you up early.
And make each other coffee and have your Bible study together.
Sure. Yeah. Well, let's just see if we don't kill each other first. But all that to say, but I'm like, that's not going to happen January 1. Like, I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to wake up early before the kids wake up on January 1 and reach it. So I'm like, okay,
let's find your own groove.
Yeah. Like, hey, let's start the day the kids go back to school, the day that you go back to work, like the day that your schedule resumes, normalcy resumes, the routine resumes, because otherwise you're just going to get frustrated.
Yeah.
And be 5 days in and going, well, screw this, to whatever resolution you have. But really, you've had days off. It's been the weekend. And so you've just literally set yourself up for failure. But if you give yourself, okay, I'm going to give myself, I know I'm not going to start on the first, but I am going to start that first Monday in January and continue from there. You've got planning time, you've got those first couple of days to finish getting things ready, whether it's a new diet, whether it's finding a gym, whether it's, you are, downloading and getting the Bible recap thing, whatever it is, you're giving yourself some grace, and it doesn't have to be January 1.
Well, and I think the way I look at it, because I do like to have reflection at the end of the year, and I know a lot of people are like goal people. I would say that I am in just a very small perspective, but it's more like the intention is really where I settle in. And last year, my biggest intention was reading the Bible in a year. And that was because I was so frustrated the entire year before with just my lack of consistency that I had to create a new habit for myself because I just didn't have something that worked, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I needed to just create a new intention. Now, having done it the whole year, like that is an intention that will can exist, like that will continue.
Right.
But something that isn't already planned out or thought out, like it's going to fail from time to time and you're going to have a fallback and you're going to go back to your comfort zone that, oh, I was working out 2 to 3 times a week, and consistent for 3 weeks. So then you get sick or a kid gets sick or something happens. And then you go back to the comfort zone of what happened before. And
Right.
so I think the intention needs to be set like whatever the one thing is. If you create a handful of intentions for your year, I'm sorry to say, I don't know anybody who's hit all their goals or intentions or whatever for an entire year
Yeah.
that have multiple.
Right.
Like figure out what your one thing is. And if it is getting healthier, okay, maybe that is eating or exercising or whatever. But most people try to put all of it in one basket and one of the pieces of those fail. So the whole goal, whole intention falls.
Right. And or the people that say you have to do one for every aspect of your life, for like you have to have a professional goal and a personal goal and a
Mm.
family goal
And
and
the spiritual.
and a spiritual goal. That's all well and good for those overachievers. However, the people that are the unlikely housewives, such as ourselves, are the ones that are really, we're with the, that's good enough. That's,
Mhm.
we're good. I'll take it.
Mhm.
Like, really, and I'm not saying that in a way of, I'm not settling for mediocrity, but those goals are not my end all be all,
Mhm.
right? Like, my end all be all is to make sure that my kids are following Jesus and have a roof over their heads
Mhm.
and feel loved and are not buttheads out in the world. Like, my ultimate, like, my goal is to stay married to Andrew for the rest of my life, and that takes every day. Oh, we're just powering through, guys. We got this. And so there's so much that you do. So don't feel the pressure to have like you have goals
Mhm.
already.
Yeah.
You have these long-term goals. Like you have these, like, if you're married, your goal is to stay married until you die. Like that's the goal. Like, so don't, your goal for your children. You don't give yourself credit for the things that you already have goals for that are
Mhm.
your marathon goals. Like, so don't feel like you have to make these 1 year.
I was talking to a friend yesterday, and she said that they had a group of friends that reached out to her and her husband about going on a trip, Mexico or something like that, in February. And she's like, it just really wasn't on my radar. She's like, but we haven't been on a trip together forever. She's like, so I kind of feel like we should go. And I was like, well, maybe all it's telling you is that you just realized you needed to do something special with your husband, but maybe that trip isn't what it is for you and your husband. Like they haven't had a trip in like
Mm,
7 years. And I'm like, go on the trip, but maybe not with friends. You're just
yeah.
the 2 of you, So it's one of those things. And I love that she said that because you get invited to a lot of things, or you don't, or you're making all kinds of plans. But what are the ones that are really needed? Like I was just thinking about that this whole next year, we're going to be doing college visits We're going to be doing, baseball tournaments. We're going to be doing soccer tournaments. We're going to be traveling, all the things. But at some point, we got to have a family vacation
Right.
of the six of us. That has to be planned out and looked ahead at. Like, there are some things that you have to look at the full calendar year of your new year and say, okay, how am I going to fit this in and when am I going to fit that in? Because I know with us, time just goes and you're like, gosh, I didn't do this or I didn't do that. And I'm feeling that a little bit as this year ended because of all the things we had, all the broken bones, all the just mental breakdowns, all the changes in sports clubs. Like, there's a lot of big things that happen that lead to different results than what you expected.
Yeah.
And so I think I would love to be a little bit more intentional with our time and just thinking it out loud. Like, for example, we do our like trip. I think I've talked about this on the podcast, like a trip for our kids around middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Like one kid, or yeah, one of the four kids gets a special trip between like elementary and high school. So in the middle school years. And we just had our daughters just a couple months ago. And our sons is going to have to be in the next year because they're back to back. I'm like, that also needs to be planned out and thought about. Like, there's certain things like dating your kids. That's like something I've always wanted to do. Like, I mean, we've done it. We did it when they were little, but the
Yeah.
last few years, I don't even know where it went.
Well,
But
you haven't had time.
that's my problem.
Right.
But if it's on the calendar, I feel like we would hold to it.
Right.
Like,
But I
once a
think,
quarter. I'm not like
yes,
saying being crazy about it, but
I also think that there's a lot of times when you guys divide and conquer for kids' sports and things like that. And
mhm.
you guys do get a lot of one on one time with each of your kids, whether you're driving, be to school,
Oh, yeah, the
separate,
driving
like,
piece, yes.
honestly, I don't discount the time that quality time that you already are getting
Oh,
to add something on your calendar. And
I
I'm just saying,
don't.
I know.
I would say the one thing that I wanna add it in is because of the time. Like, the fact that, like, Parker's technically only gonna be home for, like, 18 more months, like, that's crazy,
Yeah.
Like, I would like to instill like, add that in to make those times
Right.
count,
No, and that's absolutely, but just I'm encouraging you, don't put the pressure on yourself
Oh,
too,
no.
because it is, I mean, and
That's my like, that's probably the only other like, that's probably my biggest intention is one-on-one time with all the kids, like, in a fun, laid back, going on a date or watching a movie or picking a show or, something, like, just that, like, little bit of stuff that it's not stress or lecture focused of homework and
yeah,
sports and performance, like, it's just us. Because I
yeah,
feel like that's what this year's been, is it's like, I don't know, just that heavy burden of we've just got so much going on and we don't get that laid back space enough. So
yeah,
being intentional in that is, I think, really, that's probably my biggest one.
yeah. Well, that's interesting. I mean, Andrew and I have this year has been more of I think because now the girls are in club sports, we've definitely gotten some more one-on-one times with traveling back and forth between sports, and Andrew's incredible. Like, he's involved in all the things. Like, I had to introduce myself to Emsley's volleyball team and be like, "Hi, I'm Emsley's mom. Actually, I am married to Andrew. He's not a single father. I just wanted to let you know that. Like, I will be here occasionally and things like that. But
Yeah,
we're in a different season.
totally.
So it's just the things of what I'm doing business wise and outside of
Mhm.
things. And he's amazing on that and the time. And I love that he's getting all the time with the girls now, especially before, they begin to hate him. So
I don't know.
there's,
I think they're going to hate you before they hate him.
totally agree with that.
Sorry.
He totally, yeah, he's like, no. And he wants to travel like 1 week a month when, everything starts. And I'm like, that's not going to happen.
Hmm.
And it's like, you're going to think that that's going to be, but they're going to be more mad at me than they are going to be mad at
Hmm.
you. They're
We've always said this with Chris. I've prefaced. I'm like, you will step in when like it's not going well. I mean, we have such a good tag team moment. Like, if we know that it's a bad morning, like someone has slept in or someone has forgotten their homework or something. And I'm like, okay, I've got the first 20 minutes. Get yourself ready. You're tapping in. You're driving to school today. Not me. Like,
Yeah.
we just know who's got to like be the buffer on which kid because there's a lot of hormones raging at my house right now.
Yeah, you do. You have quite a few
Mhm.
but with all the ages.
And my own.
And you're all that's true. Because if one of them's not crying, it's probably you crying. And it's
Mhm.
great. It's
Yeah,
good.
it's a lot.
At the Stein family houses. It's good. You guys should stop by.
Not uninvited.
No, don't do that. Don't do
That's
that.
only because my dogs are jerks.
Yeah.
You can stop by uninvited. I'll be in my PJs and I don't care. It's
Yeah.
fine.
That's true. It's true. But yeah, but her dogs are jerks.
Mhm.
So but
I hope-
which I feel like we should have. I think Quasi needs his own episode.
Yeah, we could have a whole episode on what not to do with your dogs or
Or can I say it? Shit we've done for our dogs.
oh my gosh. Yeah.
I mean,
Talk to you all about how we make dog food
yeah,
from
yeah.
scratch.
Or how my dog has had an eye lift before I have. How about that? That was, or the dog that every 3 weeks I would drive 4 hours round trip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, to get him
Aw.
chemo
Yeah.
every 3 weeks. That was
That was a lot. We
That-
really could have a special pet episode.
We could have a special pet episode.
Give us a shout out. Send us a message. If
Yeah,
you
if you
really
like
want a
that
pet,
idea,
a
let
pet
us know.
shout out. I mean, I feel like it's kind of out there, but I mean, hey, you never know. Maybe somebody wants to hear about it.
And I mean, it's hashtag Johnson County dog. I mean,
Oh gosh, it's funny. I'm like looking at your bag and it says dog people.
dogs over people. That's what it says. Because
Oh.
it has dogs and then a line and it says people.
Okay,
So
that's-
it's dogs over people.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I mean, and as a dog park enthusiast, as I call myself, I could tell you all about the drama that goes down at the Heritage Dog Park. So that again, that could almost be a 2-part episode. So all right. So what else is something that what are you excited about in 2025?
I'm excited about the new year. I'm done with 2024.
Yes, but as we earlier discussed, it is just another day. It's just one more number on the calendar changing.
I think it's is it my Enneagram or is it my personality? Like I literally I love a new year. Like I love a fresh new notebook and new pens. Like I love the fresh start of January. I love it's wintertime and cold and we're all inside and we're doing puzzles. Like I literally love the new year. So peaceful and so calm. It's my favorite part because sports aren't crazy in January and February. So that's like my favorite time of year to just like reset and prep for the year. I would say though that my biggest thing for this next year really is my like taking the next step of what I have learned in the last year, reading the Bible in a year, and I'm going to continue and doing it again and again and again.
And we encourage you to sign up if you
Haven't already.
haven't already. Go on to the YouVersion Bible app. Well, have a group for the Unlikely Housewives. So
I want to encourage my kids so much more in that space. I've always felt not underqualified per se, but like having not already been through the Bible and really learned how to study it myself, it's so hard to like, for lack of better words, dumb it down to kid version to like teach them in story form and in like like obviously I've taught my kids to memorize verses and things that way. Like we've done that, but to really study the Bible.
like
And
an
so-
application.
Yeah. And so we are going to do the Foundation Worldviews biblical plan. We have had an episode on that. If you want to go back, Foundation Worldview, Elizabeth Urbanowitz did an episode and they have curriculums that you can do at home. And so we're going to do that as a family, hopefully once a week. I know how life rattles through, but the intentionality in that is what I'm probably most excited about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You did the family values,
Mm-hmm.
which is a shout back to our Strong Family episodes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Strong Family podcast with Joe and Mel
Hashi.
Hashi. Yeah.
Yes. And so how would you say that went for your family this year.
Remember how I said January and February are really good and calm because
Mhm.
it's not so busy?
Yeah.
That's when we really focused on them, and we haven't done a whole lot. Now, mind you, something really funny. Last night it was the Dollar Tree with Braylon. She loves crafting, and she got like this big snowflake, and she's like, "Mommy, I'm gonna paint on this, and I'm gonna put all our family values on all the outside." And I was like, "Huh, it's been like 7 months maybe since we've talked about them, but they're still in her heart. They're still in
Yes.
her mind."
I
I
love
was
it.
like, I really love that. And I think it's just a good reminder of like, hey, let's get that out. Let's like just have that be a reminder too. Cause when we created them, I thought I would make something in the house to where they like were always there. And I
Mhm.
never did. So now I'm like, going to put her on that. It's a craft project and then we'll have it hanging in the house somewhere. But I mean, I loved it. It was really good for us. We just did a really poor job continuing the like, for lack of better words, like weekly dinners or weekly conversations around it. I mean, we do highs and lows at dinner now. Like there's a lot of things we picked up from it and we do. It's just consistency in it,
Right.
you know.
But again, it's something that, sometimes going to the gym once a week is better than not going at all.
Yeah.
So there
Yep.
is that. But no, that's awesome. I love
Mhm.
that you've been so intentional with your family.
Yes.
I've been intentionally away from my family this last year.
Hey, everybody's got their own jam.
No, it's
And
been
you'd say that, but
I
you're
know.
so involved. Oh my
I
gosh, you're the kids' biggest cheerleader.
it's been, yes, it is. I love I mean, I have so much fun with them, and they're at the age now where, you can dish it and they dish it back, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah.
And also greatly annoying. Because you're like, not now. This is not a time
I know
to
that right place, right time thing is real hard at this age
yeah, they're
because
figuring
they're
that out.
like half the time, they're like, well, we joke all the time. And I'm almost at the age where I'm an adult and I'm independent. And then you get to remind them that they're not, that you're still their mother
Yes.
and they do not get to talk to you that way. It's fun.
Okay, this is a funny story. So we were at Hobby Lobby last night, and all Christmas stuff is on sale. And Juliet goes, "Hey, look, there's a white Santa and a black Santa." And she goes, "Which Santa would we have?" And I said, "White, because we're racist."
Holy shit.
Ah. She looks at it, she goes, "Well, of course."
My
Y'all,
God.
I'm saying this because these are the things we laugh about, these things because just you have to laugh. You have to laugh. I mean,
Mm.
it is a I mean, my kids are growing up in a culture that talks about all these things and all the things. So like we don't shelter them from it, and we just you embrace. God has a sense of humor, and if you haven't looked outside lately to realize that God has a sense of humor, then you are severely missing out. But I just want you to know that it's just, I'm very much enjoying that stage of
Of
with my
life
girls.
with your kids.
And but at the same time, that is a very different stage for me because I'm traveling more on my own for things and projects I'm involved in, and that goes up from everything to, oh, I didn't tell you I was accepted into the Shawnee Tomorrow Leadership Program.
Awesome.
So for 2025. So that,
There's one more thing to add to your list for 2025.
along with the Eisenhower series that I'm very excited about that I've started already. And then
So you're gonna have so much fun with your new planner and your new pins next
I,
year.
yes, between that,
Getting organized on all the
but you know
things you're
what's
doing.
so funny? When I go after planner and pens, it's back to school. I
Oh.
always I
Oh,
am
so you get the school calendar year.
almost, yes. So it doesn't have to be a January one for me.
Okay.
But like I totally geek out with back to school supplies because I like all the fun colored pens and all
Yeah.
the things, and usually they're on
That's
sale.
funny.
So, but I always, when my kids stock up, I typically grab a couple
Well,
pencils and
maybe that's because was that always that way? Because now that I'm reflecting on that, like before kids, I've always loved Jan 1, new calendar, new pens, new thing. Like that, I think that's
Yeah.
the way in my adult life, that's the way I liked it.
I don't know that I was that I don't think I was that higher I won't say organized because I'm still not organized. I won't say that I don't know that
That
I
came
cared.
later
It
in
yeah,
life
life, I
when
think.
you had children.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
But
holy cow, I should probably get organized.
yeah. Well, I mean, and granted, I have a planner now. I have realized the key to a good planner for Tori is an undated one.
Oh, well, sure.
Yeah. So because you end up if you go with a dated calendar, and I'm going to put the link into my favorite calendar, plum paper. I love them. But go undated because then you don't get pissed off at yourself when you realize that you've gone an entire month
And didn't use it.
and didn't use it. So
Mhm.
I will just use the next page or the next month. Like it is fantastic. And I will scratch out numbers and go, well, I missed these 2 weeks. So I'm just going to use this one. So I love a good undated calendar because the time moves when I need it to.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. The only paper calendar I use anymore is for our podcasting stuff. Now that I'm like thinking about it.
That's true. And you are you like seeing monthly.
I'm like the month at a glance. That's how
I
roll.
do. I like to see the month at a glance. I can't do just the daily and the week. I like to see what's upcoming.
Speaking of calendars, I'm just gonna say this just in case anyone doesn't know. So we use the Cozy app. We have for years. Everything is color coded for all of my kids. I have 4 kids in competitive sports. We all use Team Snap for 3 of them, and then there's a different program. I haven't figured that one out yet.
Game
But
changer.
nope,
Nope.
it's brand new.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, the Team Snap will go right into your calendar. You literally click and subscribe, and all of my kids' games and practices automatically went to Cozy. I did not know that existed. I knew that you could do it with Apple, like on your phone, and if people use that actual calendar, the Apple calendar.
which I do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And
our
that
Team
stuff,
Snap does.
I've seen that like so many people can link like your Google Calendar. I did not know that this like independent app did this until it was literally, I was complaining to some parents how having 3 children in sports and entering them in takes so long. I was like, I got 2 weeks at a time. And this dad was like, let me help you out. And he showed me, and it was like, it was all in the calendar within like 3 minutes. I'm like, no way. My life
And
has
once
changed.
I see you too can be
But it automatically
your
color coded to my child. I was like, this is amazing.
you see, you too can learn new things. I just want to encourage the kids. Like I very easily could have taught you.
So
something.
I think,
and my kids are just figuring out the club sport things. But good, I'm happy for you.
yeah, well, and I think that is like the little things that I love.
I'm almost sad for you that you spent that much time.
Oh, you have no idea.
I play just on your phone, just trying to color code, doing everything.
And I actually would do it. I'd have my phone here and I would do it in the iPad app. So I would like read it on my phone, put it in the app there because you had to like toggle. But yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. I
Everyone
figured out how to
that.
add so much more time back in my day.
She's we're good. We're happy for her. See, this is how she has time for a podcast now. How long ago was this
The Team Snap?
that you learned that it
Just in November. I'm so happy. That's why I think why I still have just a little bit more joy because I'm not entering in month-to-month calendars. And when a schedule changes, it automatically changes in my calendar.
And it gives you all the details.
Yeah.
Tells you what school or where they're at.
Yeah.
I love that you've been doing that.
You're welcome. You're welcome for your entertainment. And on that note,
we're going to encourage you because you know that there's something that you have recently come across and that you are just the same like Tracy. And I know next episode, I'm sure we'll throw something in that I've recently done. That's fine.
we have to.
We have to. But go to bit.ly/unlikely merch for these awesome sweatshirts, coffee mugs, a tote bag, another different sweatshirt. They're
And
cute.
t-shirt. Yep,
And
yep.
t-shirt, and you'll see those there. And then also go to our website, unlikelyhousewives.com, to subscribe to the newsletter. So,
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We're here, and
We hope that this just brought you a little bit of comfort in the lack of some organization and with the excitement of creating some new intention, because neither of us have anything figured out.
amen. Until next time, housewives.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.